It's good to see you again.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, dear listener, and of course, dear viewer. This is Monday, the 26th day in the month of August, the year 2024, and this is Unity Trend on Unity 93.3 FM. Today happens to be the first edition for this week, and I'm so particularly very excited. The reason is because you are tuned to this very dial. Iji Adamu is my name, your regular anchor. In the studio, it's a wonderful one for me because I have in and readily seated and getting ready to also say big good morning to you is Professor Paveno Hetsbami. I know you must have missed him for quite a number of days, and he is with us this morning. I don't want to waste any more time. I just want to let him say big good morning. And of course, if you have eaten, because we didn't ask you if, how about your goals? So, get ready to answer all these questions. Professor.
Good morning, it's a beautiful good morning.
Good morning,
I hope you've eaten Suda Makan.
Suda.
Suda, good. You've learned some Malay. Yeah. Viewers and listeners, Suda Makan, have you eaten? I hope you've had something, maybe kose or masa or bread or cornflakes or something, or even cassava flour gari. We used to call it gerium sulfate when we were students in those days. Good morning if you're in other parts of the world that is not morning. Good afternoon and good evening. You're on to 93.3 FM radio and Unity TV. Those of you watching us via Facebook, YouTube, whatever means, we are glad that you're part of this wonderful broadcast. Please stay tuned. Tell your neighbors, colleagues, friends that we are on air, and we're going to be having a very fantastic time together on Unity Train. This Unity Train is taking us to a fantastic. How far, so far have you gone about those great dreams and visions? Are your dreams, your visions, your goals, are they smart? Smart means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. That book you wanted to write, have you finished writing it, or are you rounding up? What about the farm? Rainy season will continue till early November now, we are told. So you can even plant crops now, like beans, if you've not done so. What about the overseas trip? What about the new trade, the new skill you wanted to acquire? How far, so far, have you gone about that building project, about that marriage? How far, so far, have you gone? I want you to remember that you will meet resistance on the way, but your persistence will break every resistance. I want you to know that there will be hindrances, obstacles, tough times, but tough times don't last. It is tough people that do. Remember, sometimes you will fail, but try again. Failure is not fatal. Success is not final. It is the will to continue that matters, says Winston Churchill. So, I encourage you, prepare to acquire what you require in life. If you don't acquire, don't retire. Refire. You know, over the weekend I met someone who was retired many years ago, but he's still refiring. Still refiring, retired but not tired. In fact, it looks as if after retirement is the time that he's impacting more lives than he did during his official, formal, days of service. So, don't retire. Keep prospering. Keep soldiering on. Keep advancing. Keep moving on. Don't give up. Winners don't quit. Quitters don't win. No matter how difficult things are, no matter how tough things are, don't you dare throw in the towel. Because if you throw in the towel, you won't achieve those goals and visions and dreams. But if you persevere, if you persist, if you soldier on, if you insist, by the grace and mercies of God, you will get there. I encourage you, go out there, no matter the economy of Nigeria, no matter the economy of the world, no matter the economy around you, you can be different. If you plan, if you strategize very well, remember, no matter the economy of the jungle, the lion will not eat grass. The lion will go for prey, for flesh, for meat, because he's wired for it. He will look for meat and get it. And I tell you, no matter the things around us, I tell you, there is enough for all of us. If you just maximize your potentials, you'll be great in life. Go out and make the difference. And remember to be the change that you want to see in the world.
Oh my, this is lovely already. You are wired for success. You need only to plan and then be committed to whatever it is that is good that you intend to do and achieve for yourself. Mind you, whatever it is that you achieve for yourself, it has some kind of intergenerational impact. So if you fail, if you give up in yourself, it means the generation yet unborn will come to live regretting the fact that you have one time in this life, deliberately refused to engage yourself and never to give up. So please do well, don't give up on yourself. Thank you so much, Professor. In the studio still again is Barrister Paul Zaruma. Very quickly he's coming your way with another big good morning. Barrister?
Good morning. Prof, good morning. Welcome back, Prof.
Thank you.
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are receiving these signals from. I don't know how your situation of your place is, but here in Jos, I think it's cool, beautiful, and with a climate of about 24 degrees Celsius and a cloudy atmosphere also. Thank you for having me once again. I also want to use this opportunity to condole my uncle Yusuf Achen. Pozo Yusuf Achen, today is the funeral service of his wife, who died as a result of a car accident last week. I also sent my love to the Jos North Traditional Council over the demise of Pozo Balagomzi, who has since been buried according to traditional rites on Saturday last week. And then I also send my love and sympathy also to Stephen Zaruma, the newly elected Ferengada Youth Movement president, over the demise of his child, who has also since been buried. We extend our love to all these families and others that time will not allow us to mention, that you accept our love and condolences.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister. Okay, we join in all of these condolences from this platform. We pray that God will again and again shower all those whom are bereaved with his comfort. Thank you. Okay, dear listener, of course, probably you're passing through any health challenge or you are bereaved. We just extend also and express our condolences to you all, believing that God in his grace and mercy will still show you the direction with which you need to continue to move on. Thank you. Without waste of time, let's just see how we would be able to capture as many issues as possible. And today's edition of Unity Trend coming your way on radio and TV is the over the weekend edition. Most of our Mondays we try to see if we'll get issues from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and even Monday morning. So let's see some of these issues. And so the first here says 10 dead as Shiite police clash in Abuja. Hardship Nigerians no longer at ease with you. Catholic bishops to Tinubu. Another one here says tanker crush a woman's granddaughter to death in Ogun. There's a sad one. Our policies will soon bring relief to Nigerians. This one is credited to Mr. President. And again, IG hands over rescued medical students to the VCs concerned. And so this is an update, right? So, gentlemen, very good. Let's see what we can do.
Well, charity begins at home, so let's begin from home with our students from the University of Jos. 11 students, 1 house officer, so 12 people from the University of Jos, and 8 from the University of Maiduguri. Yesterday at about 5:30 p.m., we were told that the vice chancellors led their students to the force headquarters to meet with the Inspector General of Police and the FCT Commissioner of Police, and representatives of the governors of Plateau State, Benue State, hopefully Borno State, and some other officials, so that the Inspector General of Police will formally hand over these 20 students to the Vice Chancellors, who will in turn hand over the students to the parents. Now, these students have been in captivity for 9 days, traumatized, harassed, assaulted. For most of them, if not all of them, this is the first time that they are passing through such a traumatizing event. They will need a lot of psychosocial support, psychotherapy. I'm happy that the Vice Chancellor, University of Jos, Professor Tanko Ishaya, said yesterday that the students will be given adequate psychosocial support. They will undergo counseling, rehabilitation, and it will be ensured that they are properly put in the right mindset and physical, condition, so that they can resume academic activities. 9 days in captivity is enough hell or not? In fact, a few hours with terrorists, bandits, you will forget a lot of things in this life that delight you. And so, let's commend the Nigerian police force for rescuing these students alive, for professionally combing the forests in Benue State. We were told that the Inspector General of Police, Igbetokun, when he issued the order and directive, they deployed helicopters. And they sent in specially trained police squads to reinforce the ones in Benue State already, to enter the forest professionally, tactically, strategically, to engage these kidnappers, these criminals, these terrorists, these bandits. According to the police sources, the spokesman, Emmanuel Adejobi, said that there was a gun duel between the police and the terrorists. And in the process, the gang leader was killed and 2 of the criminals arrested. That is Adejobi's version yesterday. This is what he said officially. Those 2 arrested kidnappers are in custody, and they are providing useful information to the police and to law enforcement authorities. Now, it is very fantastic that the police force can engage these terrorists, these kidnappers, in a gun duel and fight, and rescue 20 medical students and a house officer unhurt. This is commendable. We will say bravo to the Nigerian police force. Kudos to the Nigerian police force. We've always known that the Nigerian police force are people that when they want to do something, they will do it. That is why we keep shouting on this platform that why are things going wrong in certain quarters and some places? Because we know the potential of the Nigerian police force. If we don't know their potential, we will not even bother to talk. We will just give up. But we know the potential of the Nigerian police force. I have a relation in the police force that even outside of this country carried out international assignments professionally. So we know that if the Nigerian police force want to do something and they really put their mind on how to do it, they will do it. They are forced to be reckoned with. Some of these people we're talking about received national and international training, and they're some of the best in the world. They have proven their capacity, their capability, they have proven their professionality by rescuing these students and house officer professionally unhurt. Of course, there can be other speculations and other things, behind the scene, but we're happy that these 20 medical students and housing officer have been rescued, and they have been handed over to the vice chancellors, University of Jos and University of Maiduguri, and that the parents are happy And so we celebrate with the parents of these medical students. We celebrate with the Vice Chancellor, University of Jos, the Vice Chancellor, University of Maiduguri. We celebrate with the medical community, indeed, with all of us as Nigerians, that this is a wonderful rescue operation. But just something a little bit to say the police must not rest on its oars. Our forces must not rest. In the first place, these children should not have been kidnapped. Nigeria should be safe for everybody to travel, attend a conference, do whatever he wants to do. They were on their way to attend a conference. Now should we say we should stop attending conferences? We should cancel conferences? There shouldn't be any conference anymore. In fact, we had to shift a conference in recent times because of insecurity. We had to postpone it and put another date. Now, Nigeria should be secured for all Nigerians. That is why the law enforcement agents, the security forces, the military, the police, NSCDC, and everybody who is involved in security in this country should come together. Let's join forces. Let's comb the forests, the mountains, the hills, the caves all over this country. We should not be having ungoverned spaces in Nigeria when Nigeria has a government in place. No inch of Nigeria's territory should be ungoverned. No bloodthirsty bandit should be occupying a territory of Nigeria and be calling himself the one in charge of the territory and collecting ransom money from Nigerians all across the country. No inch of this country should be left to terrorists and kidnappers. And we can use technology. We can deploy technology to cover the Shirye forest, to cover all the forests in Benue State, all the forests in Kaduna State, Sambisa forest in Borno State. Every forest, every inch of Nigeria's territory can be covered effectively by technology. And we have enough men that can move around this territory from time to time. We need to flush out these terrorist elements from the territories of Nigeria. Because as we are celebrating, they are not celebrating in Sokoto State, where a traditional ruler was brutally murdered by bloodthirsty terrorists. They killed him in the most brutal manner. I mean, this traditional ruler was seen on video begging the government for help, begging people of goodwill for help. But the kidnappers killed him and buried him in the forest. So the family is in mourning. And the people of Sarkin Birni, you know, are in mourning. Just over the weekend, they had a special Islamic prayer for the repose of the soul of the district head, because they can't find his corpse. And so there is a special Islamic prayer that you offer when a Muslim is killed in a place and buried in a place where you are not sure that there are even Muslims in that place. So they are not celebrating. Some other families are in mourning that we don't even know about, because up to today, some people were kidnapped. Their corpses have not even been found. Many of them, some of those who were rescued from the hands of kidnappers told us that they saw dead bodies rotting. They saw places where, you know, people were killed and buried in mass by these kidnappers. So while we celebrate the Nigerian police force and say kudos, bravo, that you've done well by rescuing our 20 medical students and housing officer, please don't rest on your oars. You need to be more proactive. Go out there, be ahead of these criminals, so that we can flush them out of this country, neutralize all of them, and have a peaceful Nigeria that we all desire.
All right, thank you very much, Professor. Our policies will soon bring relief to Nigerians, and this is credited to Mr. President. A tanker crushed a woman's granddaughter to death in Ogun. This and lots more coming your way. We have a few more moments to go on before Barrister.
Yes, I just want to lend my voice. I congratulate the parents, the vice chancellors of these universities, and particularly the Inspector General of Police who coordinated that rescue operation. And then other reports have shown that it wasn't only the police that was involved in that operation. The military were also involved. The DSS were also part of that operation. So we celebrate the DSS. We also celebrate our military, the gallant military officers who participated in that operation. I want to also call upon the authorities that these 2 people that were arrested, they should be prosecuted. And the prosecution should be open. It shouldn't be shrouded with secrecy. The investigation should also be discreet. Thanks to the fact that they are getting valuable information, and those valuable information should be utilized to prevent further attack or take the fight to the bandits, because I believe this is not the only group of bandits operating within Nigeria. There are some in Sokoto, there are some in Niger, there are some in Zamfara, and then they are interlinked. They are interlinked directly or indirectly. In most cases, you discover that they are a kind of a syndicate. And then this is a good development. We also wish the student a quick recovery from all the treatment they will undergo. This is quite commendable. It shows that I learned that even when they were taken to the NIA clinic in Abuja, that they also met some coppers there who were also rescued by these wonderful gallant officers from Nigeria. We know that our security men, they are capable. They have the prowess, they have the capability and the ability. It is only unfortunate that we stated some time ago here that security issues are only being politicized. If not, these bandits can never be better than our security forces. They are not, and they can never outarm or superarm our security forces, because we have wonderful security forces, well-trained, well-exposed, well-educated. Most of these bandits are not educated. Some of our security personnel, they are trained outside the shores of this country. Some of them have gone to different countries and learned a lot of security tactics. And these bandits are mostly just locals that will just carry dangerous weapons and learn how to shoot. Even though such people, yeah, we agree that they are dangerous. But what the point we're making is that they are not as organized, as coordinated as our security forces. They are not as exposed in terms of education and pedigree like our security forces. They don't have a training institution like the NDA, the NIA training institutions like the police training institutions that we have. So you can see that our security have more advantages than this ahead of our security can never go head to head with these bandits and terrorists. So we are calling upon our security, particularly the leaders, that politics should be shoved aside, and then bandits should be dealt with decisively. Also, our heart goes to the Sokoto Emirate over the unfortunate demise of that traditional ruler that was killed, of the traditional ruler of Gobir, that was brutally murdered by these bloodthirsty vampires. We are also calling upon the authorities that other people that are also in captivity, we said it, that all Nigerians should be treated equally. Whether you are educated, you are a villager, or you are Nigerians should be treated equally. Other Nigerians that are in custody of those bandits should be rescued as well. And then again, the revelation that they will get from their investigation, they should use those elements of those revelations to prevent further attack. Because I am telling you, some of these people will never remain the same again after this attack. So preventing it is far, far, far better. Preventive security is what the world is into. Precautionary measures is what every country now is into. You know, but unfortunately in Nigeria we are reactive. We allow it to happen before we react. Like for instance, this magistrate in Kaduna State, she has already lost her first child, even though she was eventually rescued. The trauma will be there. At least even if you underwent mental health treatment, the scar, the emotional scar, will be permanent. So these are things that we are calling upon the security, particularly the intelligence community, should unleash their intelligence, so that some of these unfortunate insecurity will be prevented. And insecurity is not only affecting insecurity is not only affecting people's life, it's also affecting the economy.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister. And Prof, I'll let you catch your breath. I will be right back. Our listener and viewer, Commercial break is coming your way. Just stay tuned. When we come back, it's going to be wow again. Stay tuned.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune into Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way. It concerns you. It a kill love, it a kill dreams. It a land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and daily happenings worldwide. Join us Mondays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. as we dive into the daily happenings and stories. Tune in and stay. Say hello to the world as you bring in your ideas, as it is a perfect blend of entertainment and information. Get ready to stay up to date while being entertained.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer, and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was seeing things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Are you
I truly appreciate the fact that you are still there with us on Unity 93.3 FM. Well, but in case you are just tuning on, this is Unity Trend on Unity 93.3 FM and TV. The program has been on since 8 o'clock this morning, and it's time for the next segment, which of course we call it Transit. And on Transit segment of Unity Trend this morning, it happens to be over the weekend review. And so over the weekend review is an edition of Unity Trend where we try to look at issues from the weekend all through to even Monday's morning. So issues trending on our national dailies Monday morning, we also look at them. And so we continue with the review segment. Dear listener and viewer, don't forget that this program cannot be without you. So that time is coming with which you would join us live. And if you want to be with us on our Facebook page, we're actually streaming live at Unity Radio FM/TV Jos. Again, on Facebook at Unity Radio FM/TV Jos. That's there. For text message, sometimes it's when we're out of the studio before some of your text messages begins to come in. So 0808 478 9999. For text messages again, 0808 478 9999. Thank you so much, dear listener and viewer. In the studio, it has been Professor Proveno Bamaye and Barrister Paul Saruma. Before we begin, I would love to say a very big happy birthday to Chief Richard Adamson at 81 years. Wow, I think it's a good one. We pray for many more years ahead, sir. He is popularly known as Ubangari Irigwe. Thank you so much, sir. And Prof, let's see what we'll do. I will take us into a discussion that has to do with psychosocial and rehabilitations to people whom are affected by some sort of security situation in the country, particularly the issues of farmer headers. Okay, this has been on for a very long time. But before we look at this very one, let's see what we'll do. Some of these issues that we have as headlines. Do we go with the 10 dead as Shiites police clash in Abuja, or we just take this as a hardship? Nigerians no longer at ease with you.
I think both of them are related, could be. But let's look at the bloody incident that happened yesterday in Abuja. Almost every paper is talking about it. It's been in the news since yesterday and will continue to be in the news today and probably subsequently. The Islamic movement of Nigeria were on a procession, and there are different versions of what happened. All we know is that there was a clash that turned bloody. The Nigerian police force told us that the Islamic movement members attacked their officers, killed 2 of their officers, injured others, and they responded to the aggression. There were loss of life. We are not even sure of the number. Some papers said 10 people died. Some said 7, 5, 3, or more than 10. Some papers say several are dead. By today, hopefully, we will get an update of the casualty figure. So that's the version of the police. And in addition, the police told us that the members of the Islamic movement of Nigeria were carrying machetes, improvised explosive devices made of kerosene, and all such. However, the Islamic movement of Nigeria, the spokesman, Sheikh Munir Menasara Sokoto, said yesterday that the version of the police is not correct. that they were on a peaceful procession, which is guaranteed under the laws of the country. If you want to have a procession and it's peaceful, nobody should harass you, nobody should disturb you. So he said they were having a peaceful procession, men and women, and even children, when, according to Sheikh Menasara Sokoto, men of the Nigerian police force, armed to the teeth, began to attack their members, open fire on them, using live bullets, and killed several of their members, as has happened before in the past, and even proceeded to go to a guest house where some of the members of the Islamic movement of Nigeria were staying, when they are also on open fire and tried to attack the people there. And so everything turned bloody. According to Sheikh Munir Menasara Sokoto, he said the members of the IMN don't carry weapons. They are not armed. And from both versions, we know that the IMN members were not carrying guns. Well, maybe they have machetes, we don't know. The police said they had machetes and that they were violent. Now we have two conflicting versions. IMN said, we were doing a peaceful procession and you attacked us. The police said, you came and attacked us at our checkpoint or patrol point, you know, and all that. I think it is very important that the truth of what happened is established. We are calling on the Nigerian police force. We are calling on the Islamic movement of Nigeria. We are calling on especially the government to ensure that this matter is thoroughly investigated. And the truth is brought out, especially that there is loss of life. Loss of life of members of the police. Police officers have died. And members of the Islamic movement of Nigeria have died. This matter must be thoroughly investigated. We want the truth, nothing else but the truth. You will recall, could be that some years ago, when the Chief of Army Staff was passing through from Kaduna to Zaria, you know, along that road, Buratai was the Chief of Army Staff, and he said that the members of the Islamic movement blocked the road and did not allow him passage. And then the next thing we heard was the soldiers opened fire on members of IMN and killed, by the records of Amnesty International, more than 350 members of the Islamic movement of Nigeria were killed. At first, the military denied it. The security forces denied it. The government even came and denied that, you know, they didn't kill. How can they kill that number of people? Until later investigation showed that a lot of people were killed. And even the ruling that was given in favor of the Islamic movement of Nigeria, I don't know if the government has bothered to implement anything. Now, as a person, I want to call on the government that it looks as if the Islamic movement of Nigeria is under intense persecution. That's the impression that is given to us in Amnesty International. That they have been constantly persecuted. Because when Buhari was in power, Sheikh El-Zazaki was granted bail 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and Buhari refused that they should not allow him. Even when the man was sick, even when the man was getting weaker and weaker with his wife, they refused bail that was granted him. They refused. The government refused. The government refused to obey the court order. This is the same government that will tell us that we must obey court orders, refuse to obey court orders. This is not right. And I'm not saying that the Islamic movement of Nigeria blocking roads is also right. If they block the road, they have no right to block the road. Allow free passage. People should move about their normal business and carry out their activities legally. So from both sides, there is need for reconciliation. And I think that the government, the federal government, should take a bold step to bring about this reconciliation. Because I feel that there is some bitterness, there is something between the enforcement agents and the Islamic movement of Nigeria that there has not been proper reconciliation and peace between these groups. And if there is no proper reconciliation and rehabilitation, then this matter will continue to persist. Almost every year we'll be having a reoccurrence of this kind of happening. Because this thing happened in 2015, happened in 2016, happened in 2018, happened in 2019, happened in 2020, happened in 2021. It's happening up to today. The same thing repeating itself again and again and again. It is high time that His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu should, as a father to the nation, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu should take the bull by the horns and reconcile the Islamic movement of Nigeria and the security forces. And let us have some semblance of peace instead of having a recurrence of this clash year in, year out. It is not helping us, and it is giving us bad publicity on Al Jazeera, BBC, CNN, around the world. We have bad publicity as a result of this. Our nation is suffering, a lot of bad publicity and ill will around the world. So something should be done so that we can have some peace and safety.
Oh, Barrister, now I'll throw it to you.
Yeah, and I think it's quite unfortunate by the narrative going and counter-narrative from the IMN and the Nigerian police. It's a very sad development. Abdullah Musa, who was the person that led that procession, said that the procession was to mark a global procession against the assassination of Imam Hussein. Yes, a revolutionary leader who sacrificed his life.
Is the grandson of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, yes, so, peace be upon him.
He was assassinated. So all over the Islamic movement across the globe were protesting. So they decided to join that procession in honor and against his assassination. Be that as it may, the narrative of Usman is that the police killed themselves in order to justify the killing of the IMN members, which I don't think that narrative is sellable, is presentable. That narrative cannot pass the test of logic. I don't think police will just kill their fellow policemen just to sell any kind of narrative. And again, another unfortunate development to that incident is that one innocent civilian was caught up in the crossfire and he died, which is quite unfortunate. Yes, this is a Nigerian citizen who is doing his normal business. He's neither a member of IMN and neither an enforcement officer, but he was caught up in the crossfire. And also other revelations shows that vehicles of innocent Nigerians who fled and left their vehicles there were equally burnt, which is another unfortunate development. So this thing should be handled discreetly with caution, and then an investigation should be properly carried out to discover which of this narrative is actually true, and then there should be balance in everything concerning this issue so that we will not have a reoccurrence. I quite agree with Prof that this thing has been in a recurring decimal. So government should come up with a permanent solution to this IMF issue. In most cases, this protest, I don't know, the police also alleged that they were using locally made bombs and then stones and machetes. And if that is true, then you cannot go on a peaceful protest with machete, you cannot go on a peaceful protest with club, you cannot go on a peaceful protest with even sticks. The only thing you should go you shouldn't go to any protest that should be peaceful with arm. So if that is true, then I think the investigation should further reveal some of the details. We are calling upon Nigerians that yes, in as much as we have the right to protest, it is quite unfortunate and it's demarcating our country in the global phase that We always, anytime in Nigeria there is a peaceful protest, is, usually nosedive into violence, which is also not good. So we are calling upon the authority, particularly the office of the NIA, to investigate some of these issues. Let there be a neutral investigative panel to find out whether these narratives, which one is at the correct position, and those who are found wanting should be adequately dealt with. Lastly, my heart goes to those people who lost their lives in that unfortunate incident, particularly the gallant police officers who died in the course of serving their nation.
Okay, Barrister, now you've made it clear that the safe, the medical students whom were saved from the hands of these kidnappers would also need some sort of attention in order to ensure that their mental, well-being is taken care of because of their experience in the hands of these terrorists. Now, when you look at the entire situation in this country, Nigeria, you have the situation of farmer herders having clashes and cattle rustling. You also have farm produce, farm being destroyed and all that. It has been on for a very long time that you feel people are going through a lot mentally. And this probably is even informing the reason for recurrence of all of these things. So how better do you think this situation should be handled? Because Prof made it clear that the Vice Chancellor, particularly for us in University of Jos, has begun the efforts to make sure that these children, these students are given the attention to stabilize their mental, whatever. So how about other?
Yes, I think kidnapping is not the only security incidents we are having in Nigeria. We are having farmers herders clash. We are also having robbery incidents where some people will just go. We are also having terrorist attack. They will just raid into any village, even if they suspect that that village are collaborating with security forces, or one person in that village in some cases are collaborating with security agencies. They will just go and raid those villages. For instance, in Zamfara, there was an incident that whenever they feel like they want to marry, they will just go and raid villages, pick up young girls, and then take them to the bush. And that is how those terrorists used to marry, that is their own pattern of getting married. And how can you carry an innocent girl against her wish in the soil of this country that's supposed to be a protected territory, and then a citizen of the same country who is just a peaceful and law-abiding citizen is just sitting, and somebody will just, because he wants to marry, he will just come. In fact, in some instances, they will come and throw the dowry. When they will throw some amount of money in the house, and they will tell the parent, this is the dowry, or this is the bride price we are paying. So you see, this is quite unfortunate. So and then when you talk about farmers herders, these are issues that are preventable. Farmers and herders, they have lived side to side for a very long time. For instance, my father's name is Sani, and that Sani, it was a Fulani man who the Fulani man that gave him that name according to what we were told. They were staying side to side. My father was a farmer. In fact, he was one of the earliest people that went into mechanized farming in Jos. As that when I was in primary school, he had a lot of tractors. He went into mechanized farming. Already? Yes, already when I was in primary school. So he grew up into farming. So when they were farming at that time, the Fulani people will come, and then they will come and settle on the farm, particularly during harvest. After harvest, they will stay and the cow will feed on the chaffs and other remnants in the farm, while the animal dung is also a manure to the ground. So immediately after, when rainy season is coming, the Fulani will go to the bushes, because by that time grasses must have grown as a result of the rain. So, and then they will have a well-nourished farm within which to plant something, and then they will have good harvest, and that was how they live side to side with the Fulanis. So what has become wrong now? I think one of the basic things that have become wrong is this issue of extremism. At times when you go to social media, you hear how some religious leaders talk, it's not helping us. Extremism is one of these things. I remember those days in Jos. If Azumi is coming, we will go for Tafe. I even remember some of the songs that we used to sing to go to Tafe with our Muslim friends. I was born and brought up in Shagari Corner. If Salah come, we will go, we will wear our jeans, and then at times we wear our jalabia. After our friends return from they return from the Eid, they will come and meet us. We will go after we eat the Salah rice. We will now move to Kayatarwa Cinema, and from Kayatarwa Cinema we move to New Era. That's how in the morning we'll be at the Jos Museum or Wildlife Park. That was how beautiful Jos used to be. So during before Azumi, we will go on Tafe. We will go from one house to the other, and we will get a lot of money, and it's the money that we will spend on the Salah day. So you see, this was how Jos used to be. Now, can the young child that is giving birth to in Jos enjoy this thing? But later on, you begin to hear a lot of extreme teachings that began to separate that bond. We were bonded together. I remember recently somebody in Shagari Corner lost his son, so I went there to pay condolence visit to them. When I stood at the door, I said, "Salam alaikum." They said, "Wa alaikum assalam." When the woman came she saw me, she said, "Ah, you are the one telling us salam alaikum. Can't you enter? Is it not your house?" He said, "It's your house. You don't need to do. You and your house, you are doing salama. You should enter." Yes, recently in Shagari Corner. All right. So you can see how Jos used to be, how beautiful life used to be. But when extreme teachings started coming in, people started looking at each other as if they are inferior. You look at your fellow citizen as if he's inferior, as if you are superior, and then this begin to bring division, and then this is where this extremism has brought us into. And unfortunately, those people who even begin to secure some of this extreme indoctrination, who were promoting it, who were supporting it, at the end of the day, so many of them became victims. In fact, recently I was following one antecedent of somebody who was supporting extremist ideology, and then at the end of that documentary, it was the same extreme ideology here in Nigeria. At the end of that documentary, it was the same those indoctrinated extreme that eventually terminated his life. So you can see that we really, as I said, we have a lot of things in common that we should emphasize more. In fact, we should work about. That was why the last time I was talking about one of the good aspect of Obasanjo regime was he was able to manage our diversity. He was one of the best presidents that managed our diversity. Okay. Now, I don't want to talk about other indices because that's not the topic. As a leader, you are not supposed to capitalize in dividing people. You are not also to superimpose either a region or ethnic group upon other citizens. So a person who have the capacity, we need a president who have the capacity to manage our diversity, so that every Nigerian will feel belonged.
Okay, Prof, it's already time for a short break, but Prof, just to have you prepare for what I want you to be telling our listener and viewer is about, we have in the city of Jos and every other cities and towns that we have in Nigeria, probably full with people coming from rural communities because, of course, probably they were faced with some sort of security challenges, and so there was no one to attend to their mental health, and so somehow they survived the situation, and they are in the towns, with the situations. And so how deadly this can be for us, and how better can we manage this, looking at the rescued medical students now that attention is given to them in terms of their mental health. Our listener and viewer, it's time for our commercial break. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way.
It concerns you. It a kill love, it a kill dreams. It a land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and daily happenings worldwide. Join us Mondays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. as we dive into the daily happenings and stories. Tune in and stay. Say hello to the world as you bring in your ideas, as it is a perfect blend of entertainment and information. Get ready to stay up to date while being entertained.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer, and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was seeing things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700 225 5226, 0800 225 5226, or +234 817 665 6273. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Hello viewer, what
Mr. Politician, it's good to see
you. Listener and viewer, I'm so excited to say welcome back. This is the last segment of Unity Train on your radio and TV this morning, being Monday, the 26th day in the month of August, the year 2024. We're reaching you live, of course, from the hills of ZINARIYA. Okay, in the studio it has been Professor Proveno H. Mayi and Barrister Paul Saruma. Now it's time for you to join the conversation. I just want to plead that please just give me some of your time as I get to hear Prof's opinion concerning the need, how best to approach the issues that the fact that most Nigerians have been affected, mental health needs attention. So what's his take on that? And then we begin to pick your calls and read your text messages and comments on Facebook. Prof, sir.
Could be many Nigerians are traumatized, victims of kidnapping, banditry, and terrorism. Farmers who have lost their farms, lost their loved ones, who are struggling to recover. We have so many Nigerians with mental illnesses on the streets than the ones that visit any doctor. In fact, it is only 1 out of 10 Nigerians with mental health issues that goes to see a doctor. Thank God for the rescued medical students that will be given psychosocial support. What about the many others who have seen their loved ones killed, their parents killed, who have lost property, who have lost all their means of livelihood, who has offered any psychosocial support? We hear on air that the government has maybe released some money for IDPs, or that there will be some support for them. That's where it ends. We have many people languishing in our rural areas and cities all over this country who need psychosocial support, but they are not receiving it. The woman who ran away from being killed and came and stayed in one of my properties for days and weeks, who offered any psychosocial support to her?